Hi guys, Tom here from Warpforge. Today I want to talk about a company called StyleX Hobbies. Now I'll be honest, I hadn't really heard of them up until Scott started talking to Omar from the company, so I thought I'd check them out and have a look and see what they're all about. I got talking to Jason from the company and he was kind enough to send us out some of their brushes, file boards and a few other little bits and bobs for us to try out and see what we think of them. Now I've had a look on the website and the company, they've got a hell of a lot of gear on there. They've got all manner of brushes, from red sable brushes to synthetic brushes, angled brushes, cutters, knives, all manners of sanding tools, lights with clamps on and magnifiers. It's basically a one-stop shop. Everything you could possibly want, you can just about get from this shop. The prices are really, really good as well. I think you paid $20 for 6 red sable brushes, which is great. The synthetic ones are a little bit cheaper. Now, the brushes that he sent me out, I got a sponge brush, I got a 1, 2 and a 0 in the synthetic range, and I got a flat red sable brush size 6, which is pretty much a dry brush. I'll show you these later. And I also got another one, which is a smaller dry brush, which is another sable one. It's a flat brush, which is a number 3. And they're pretty much on the same scale as GW small dry brush and large dry brush, only they're a better quality with them being sable. Now synthetic brushes, I've never really been a fan of those. I've tried countless ones and they don't have durability. They don't seem to last 5 minutes when you're using them. Now I've given these brushes so much hammer over the last 2 weeks, painting every day with them. I've put oils on them, Vallejo liquid metal golds, acrylics, enamels, pigments. I've even dry brushed with the sable ones and actually the synthetic ones, which I hate dry brushing, but I thought I'll hammer the hell out of them and see what the durability is like. And they've lasted well. I can't believe they're still going after 2 weeks, considering the amount of prolines I've killed in 2 days. Now the synthetic ones, they're pretty good. They've got it's one of them there, they've got a very long ferrule, which is the first thing I noticed about them, and a tapered handle. But then they are a very long brush, but they feel really nice in your hand, which is always a good start. Now the other thing I like about, or what I look for in a brush, is control. And with these, because you need to control, any artist will tell you, you need to control basically how much paint is on your brush and where it goes, without it falling apart all over the place. And these have been absolutely spot on. They've cleaned up really, really well, and all I've used has just been normal brush soap, and that's right, they're cracking. A few other bits, I'll just lower the camera down here and I'll show you a few other bits that they've sent us. So this is what I got of them. This one here is StyleX Modeling Brush S, which is just your sponge brush. Now I like this brush a lot. I've used it mainly for weathering. I've been using the Tamiya weathering palettes with them, and it's been really, really good, and it's a lot better than the other 2 sort of weathering brushes that I've had, like sponge brushes, sorry, that I've had. I mean, that's the one that you get with the Tamiya palette, which died to death. I mean, it's got a nice little brush on the end, but the sponge is on it, and it's too small. I don't like it, and that's the other Tamiya one I've got, weathering sponge brush, but it's just too fat. I don't like it. I don't like the weight in it, and I don't know. It's too soft and flimsy at the end of the ferrule. So that, you've got much better control. It's a little bit stiffer on the ferrule, and I'm going to be using that all the time. That is now definitely my go-to brush for weathering. It's a cracking brush. It's a little bit longer, but it does feel good in the hand, and I do like it. The sable hair brushes I got, which are these 2 flat brushes, which is the HF6 and the HF3. Now I'll just hold these up there, and what I noticed about these is they're quite, all of the brushes actually, they're quite stiff when you get them, but they're broken really, really well. They've cleaned up really, really well, just using my normal brush soap, and they're absolutely spot on. Now I've mainly used these for dry brushing, obviously with them being a flat brush, and I've done all sorts with them, and they've been absolutely spot on. You don't need to put a great amount of paint on them, and the paint that you do put on lasts quite a long time on them, and you get good control with these. The 3 synthetic brushes that I got are a 2 and a 1 and a 0. That's hold them up to you there. And these have been used for everything. Been just painting single miniatures using just that brush. It's just basically trying the durability on them without them falling apart like other brushes have, synthetic ones. And the first thing I noticed with these is they've got a nice tapered handle, they've got a nice feel, they feel right in your hand, but they've got a very long ferrule. But for the way I hold the brush, they're absolutely spot on for me. And they've kept the points really, really well, they've cleaned up just as good. And the fine detail one, that one's the smallest one, which is a 0, which is on par with my normal go-to brushes, on par with a 000. And I've used it for freehanding, edge highlighting and all sorts, and that is definitely my current go-to brush because I don't seem to have a problem with the bristles splaying on it or anything. The ferrule's kept really, really clean. They've been great. I haven't had to, like, some things I've noticed in the past when it comes to synthetic brushes is you sometimes get a lot of stray hairs and you have to kind of just clip them off, but they've been like spot on, can't fault them at all. The other things I got were a lot of these, which are great little mixing palettes. Got quite a few of those. I've been using them just to mix oils in, liquid golds and weathering powders and stuff like that, and they clean up straight away. The good thing about them, they're not being plastic as well. They've cleaned up spot on. These I'd never seen before, little books where you can just tear off a little bit of sandpaper. You know, you can fold about. It's quite a fine, almost like a glass paper that, just for taking sort of rough edges off things. And that's the hardboard. Now it doesn't look like it's been used much, but it's actually been used a hell of a lot. And with it being a hard sand, that you can take quite a bit off with that, and then you can smooth it off with the soft one. It doesn't take much at all with that one to sand anything down. The soft one, that as well, it's finer than glass paper, but it's great just for taking rough edges off. I wouldn't mind a little bit sort of smaller size so I can get into some edges without having the big card in, but they do a lot of other smaller boards. These are just what Jason was kind enough to send us. Now, they do a range of, like a full range of like the same sort of brushes as these, but called weasel ones, which are the, bloody hell, lost my words, man. Get a grip, Tom. Right, I'm back, I've got my words back after my coughing fit. So, as I was saying about those, they also, with these being synthetic, they also do some sable ones. Now, for years, these brushes here, which you can see the state of them, been hammered to hell, they've lasted a long time. They've been my go-to brushes. These are GW Heavy Metal and Winsor & Newton. Now, the question is, would I use those over my normal go-to brushes? That, most definitely, and them two, most definitely. This one, the thin one, the fine detail brush, I certainly would use that over the other sort of synthetic brushes. These two, I'm going to keep on using and persevering with them because I want to see how long they last. But I am definitely going to order the other non-synthetic ones, like the sable brushes that they do have, to see exactly how they compare with my normal go-to brushes. Now, I'll use these primarily at the moment for oils and enamels and stuff like that, and liquid golds. I'll do another video once I actually get the sable ones to let you know how they stand up against me Winsor & Newton, which are my great brushes. But I do like these a lot, and I am going to keep using them, and then basically you can see how long they last for. So they're definitely worth checking this company out. It's called StyleX Hobbies. I think they're based in Korea, and they're very, very cheap. I mean, you're talking $20 will get you a 6 starter set, and that's all these are. These are just your basic brushes, but they're way better than the expensive alternatives like the Proline, which I think over here at a local hobby store you're going to pay around about, for a brush like that, you're going to pay £4.50, where over there I think it's about $4, which is going to work out about £3. And they also do free shipping, anything over $25, which is spot on. But they literally have the full range. I couldn't say any paint on there, but when it comes to just hobby and tools, they've got everything you need. So they're well worth a check out, guys. And I'll keep you updated with how I'm getting on with these. And as soon as I get the synthetic brushes, I'll I'll do a couple of tutorials with them so you can see how the brushes use. I've also got a couple of tutorials on painting Space Wolf and a few other bits using just these brushes and what have you, so you can see exactly how they do work and see what you think of them. And I'll have them up, I should have them up next week for you sometime. So check them out, guys. StyleX Hobbies. Now, I'll just point out here, we are not actually endorsed by these. They don't sponsor us, so we're just kind enough to send us them. But I would definitely recommend them without a doubt. Especially if you can't afford some of the more expensive brushes, these are a cheaper alternative and they work just as fine for me. So they'll work just as fine for you. So take care, guys. I'm Tom, this is Warpforge Miniatures, and thank you for watching.